find your lack of faith disturbing.
NANI?!
Well, hello there guys, and welcome to the channel. How's everybody doing? Right, so, what's up Adam Bomb, what's up Altgoog, what's up Jagermonster, Wither, Dichimetal, Kabani, Unnoticed Things, everybody else. So, as always, KT time. It is a podcast type of stream where me and Mando are going to be discussing a whole bunch of different topics about and on Marvel Coins of Champions, everything that's happening, and we will be reading the chat. However, we cannot actively answer questions because the entire point of the format is to have a conversation in between us. And that being said, let's welcome back Mandalorian, and let's get this started because we do have quite a few things to talk about it.
Yeah, we do. Hey everybody, thank you for welcome. Thank you for that. A lot has happened, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Well, we can start talking about the hotfix that we waited for 5-6 weeks, and it was meant to whisk our problems away. Let me ask you first, very direct question: have your problems been whisked away, and how is the game for you?
No, it's better in some aspects and worse in others. If that makes sense, it's definitely not like. Let's put it this way. It was ballsy to start the season and to say you're not going to give AQ compensation packages anymore when it was kind of the same stuff.
Oh yeah, as far as like I have noticed, it's pretty much exactly the same. Pretty much exactly the same. Also, the poll that I made, have the gameplay issues improved for you since the hotfix? We have 9% people saying that yes, it is much better. Vast majority can't tell the difference. That means the situation is still very, very bad. For 15%, so for more people than it said it has been improved, they say it's even worse. And then some say that it helped with dex and parry, but it has increased other problems like lag and crashes and stuff. So the hotfix overall, based on these results, and from as far as I can, has been fairly inconsequential in grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I feel like we've gotten used to it for the most part, which is kind of sad. Yeah. But I don't feel like it wasn't like a switch clicked. It wasn't like they flipped a switch and all of a sudden everything was back to the was in like June.
Well, I think that is the issue with that the game engine, because there's simply no undo button. Because I believe they either upgraded or changed game engine, which has some sort of unintended interactions, and now rather than being able to whip out a previous code, they need to basically code the new game engine to work well. But the problem is there is no manual for that, so there's a lot of trial and error and a lot of code lines to be edited and stuff like that.
Yeah, I have a theory. Remember in June, it was the first month they did that 1.5 gigabyte update?
Mm-hmm.
And then they didn't do that on the last two updates. And we had the issue as soon as they didn't do that right after the big 1.5 gig update. I think that's broke something.
It might be. Truth is, I don't think we'll ever know. All of these companies have to sign incredible amounts of NDAs and stuff like that in order to protect other companies' image and stuff like that. So, BAM is likely not going to be able to tell us exactly what went wrong, even if they wanted to, which they probably don't.
They probably won't. That's the true thing. But yeah, for sure, I think that their heart is in the right place, but I think they jumped the ball. I think they should have waited maybe 2 more weeks and baked it a little bit more, and then that way they wouldn't have to send a message saying, hey, this is kind of a fix, but it's not. And then say, by the way, we're not doing what we've been doing because it's been screwing people over in Alliance Quest.
I think that is definitely also showing that other areas of the game are suffering. And I can kind of understand why Kabam wanted to restart life as normal, so to speak.
Yeah.
But at the same time, not gonna lie, like playing Alliance War, it's so messed up. So messed up. The season. And I am, first of all, I am somebody who likes Alliance War. I play competitive Alliance War, and I was bummed that season was delayed. But playing the Alliance War right now, well, first of all, that's not even including all of the other problems with Alliance War as such, because Alliance War is in a very, very sad state structurally, map-wise, node-wise, and all that other stuff. Not good.
No, it isn't.
But all of that put aside, I still don't think we should be having a season right now. I really don't.
No,
I think the issues have gotten better since the season got cancelled, and it just seems quite silly where under largely the same conditions, and worse for some, what they used to find enough of a reason to stop Alliance War season, they still went ahead and started a new one.
And I understand their reasoning, possibly, but I mean, because like even like someone who I'm not in love with war, but I do like it. But basically, it's frustrating because, like, for example, I did a fight today, and dexterity is one of the things. I mean, we say parry all the time, but dexterity is a major issue also, and I'm really trying to figure how you can dex 2 out of 3 beams for MODOK, but the middle one is the one you miss. I don't understand that at all. When it's all one beam. And that's what happened today with me fighting a boss. And it didn't cause any issues.
I was using Quake in the second war. My first war went fairly stable. I made some silly mistakes, whatever, rusty, but game-wise, as in like there is nothing immediately jumping out at me. But in the second war, I tried using Quake, and it was borderline unplayable. Honestly, it was kind of from the very start of the fight, the very first fight, very start of the war itself. Yeah. I was charging heavy attack, as you often do with Quake, right?
Sure.
And physically, you both start together at the start of the fight, right? It's impossible to whiff an attack. As in, like, if I don't move backwards, and if AI launches any attack, should be heavy, should be medium, should be light, it should land for any champion against any champion. That's the very first input in the fight. I start charging my heavy attack. That means I'm not moving backwards. I'm standing basically still and open, as far as any other champion would be concerned. And an Nihilist drops a light hit, and it whiffs. And then I obviously think that my heavy charge is going to be disabled. I'm about to like dex back, and I get smacked in the face from the very beginning. And things like that were quite evident with Quake, and that just shows how bad the fight engine is right now.
Yeah, it's definitely, and someone said it best, it's not so much a parry issue, it's not so much like a dex issue, it is literally input issues.
Yeah, it is input, it's all the game mechanics. Like we see against Summer of Pain Grandmaster, for instance, the special one timing is extremely inconsistent right now.
Yeah. Do you remember whenever, and you've had this happen on your streams, I remember for a fact, like whenever you're like, blocking or something, will dash in sometimes or something, like do something.
I had it happening at Grandmaster again. I was randomly in, I think it was the last run or one to the last, where I was fighting Grandmaster and I was awaiting level 1, so I await the first beam and he's preparing 3 of his cubes, and I was just randomly dashing in several times at him, like, like, what the hell? Like in the middle of his level 1.
It's one of those scenarios where it's like, it's been kind of, I think, creeping into the game slowly over time, over the last like year, maybe even longer, but at least for the last, I can say people have been talking about it for the last year, about weird things happening, not consistent, but just weird enough. And I feel like July is when it broke and became the worst.
And getting back to this, and getting back to this kind of like core point is like Kabam, well, were at the very least they were flat out and open, saying that this is not like a final fix and they're gonna have to carry on working over months and months and months, and we're gonna have to be very, very vigilant checking the progress. One, that's gonna be the first thing first, fear downloading every update until this issue is completely resolved. Whether the gameplay issues are becoming worse or better update per update, because I'm sure there's going to be some missteps and errors and problems with all of that.
I honestly thought
Yeah.
I thought that even like, the maintenance we had last week after the update came out, I thought maybe that would fix it, or they release another update. I almost feel like they should be issuing like a weekly update if they fix something, maybe they should do a weekly update. I don't know. Whatever it is, I think they need to do it a little bit quicker than they have been if they're going to continue the game on as they are.
I think it's about time where they need to give us like definitely like weekly updates or something like that, because it was one thing when life was kind of grinded to halt and it was on you whether you wanted to push content or not. But now that they are releasing kind of all of this timed content, like Summer of Pain finale, for instance, you can't just delay and wait till the game is going to be fine. It's either you do it or don't. So effectively, Kabam is having you make that decision right now. And then the lines for seasons back and stuff like that, they need to be faster, better, more open. It was working previously the way they were doing it, because again, it was on you whether you want to do some permanent content push or not. But that content was always going to be there, minus the monthly events. But again, those are significantly easier in general. But right now, when they have restarted Alliance for Seasons, when Summer Pain Finale is here, where Summer Pain Finale is a hard quest at the best of times. And with all of the gameplay issues, they are definitely unfairly pushing people on a hard piece of content and significantly increasing everybody's expenses on it, and revives units and potions and whatever else. So they need to be better than they were.
That's the issues, because like the last 3 months have been the most limited time content I think we've ever had in this game. Regarding starting with the Gauntlet, then going to Summer of Pain every week,
was first,
and then going.
Well, Karina is permanent, but still it had that time aspect to it with that profile picture.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess really in May is really started, but there's been a lot in the last like 4 months, and it seemed like, I understand that those things are planned well in advance, but it also seemed like stringing all those things, while it helped, because there was a lot of complaints saying there wasn't a lot of in-game content, a lot of challenges.
That's kind of the big problem, underlying problem right now, is because with this hotfix, as far as Kabam's actions are saying, that they're more or less kind of like, life carries on as normal, but it isn't,
Yeah, it's just frustrating that it's kind of like, this is all we can do right now, and we're not going to stop anymore because we can't, because financially we can't, because we have.
Yeah, and I am convinced personally that is a financial decision. That is not a decision that was made.
It is, because they've had 2 really bad quarters.
I think
they've had 2 really bad quarters compared to last year, and last year was when everybody was stuck at home, and even they couldn't do stuff they wanted. Like Summer Pain was delayed a year, so
And I think that is pretty much exactly what it is, because having the game grind to a halt for the game health-wise, for Kabam being able to try and fix it, and for players not to be punished for their mistakes, was the right decision. I don't think these decisions right now were made with players' best interest at heart. I think the decisions to start Summoner Showdown, decisions to start Alliance War Season, decisions to carry on with Summer Pain Finale, all of that, I think, bottom line is what forced them to make that decision, and that is unfortunately much more to do with companies' finances than it is to do with player satisfaction of the game. On top of that, also, this grinding to a halt had given a lot of people more free time and allowed them to, realize they might not want to play this game as much as they thought they do.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, I know we hear this all the time.
Yeah, that's why I'm very careful with using that phrase in itself when people say the game's dying.
Yeah.
I think the more accurate phrase is that size of the active player base is shrinking right now. I think right now, if we're actively looking, because there is a difference in between game dying, game being dead, or the game going in downwards, or like decline, or game raising in popularity and going like upwards, right? I'm not gonna say that the game is like about to be dead, but I think it is impossible to make a claim that the game right now is in upwards trajectory. I think every day with these issues carrying on, we are unfortunately losing players more so than we are gaining, and I don't think anybody can make like a good case against that statement. So I'm not gonna go around and be that panic person. And if you're gonna notice, even the videos that I made about like Kabam Listen or why players should not quit and stuff like that, I didn't say that the game is dead or the game's about to die, but we are definitely in trouble.
We're on a downward trajectory right now, and it's taken a lot to pull up. And they were kind of, I felt like all the way until they released the hotfix, they were making good on at least, compensating a little bit, knowing we'd get something bigger in the end. And again, I'm not even worried about compensation because it is what it is.
Everybody's so focused on compensation. Like every stream, I get like 10 questions about compensation, and I understand that people like free shit, and I understand that not everybody like spends on the game or has the ability to earn as much rewards maybe as I do, and maybe I have a bit of like country club elitist mentality when it comes to this. I really don't give a shit about compensation.
No, I don't.
I would give back every single compensation that I have ever received from Kabam if these problems would go away.
Yeah,
and
that's
the way
I feel about it.
I would waive my rights to any compensation in future if that would somehow magically ensure that the game is running smooth.
Instead of worrying about compensation, I'd rather a game be functioning properly so I can enjoy it and get rewards from playing the game. That's the way I feel about it. So I think the people that are really echoing about they want compensation is because they maybe don't push themselves mostly in this game. They play it very small amount of time, and they just want the compensation because it'll make up for them doing things like that. But for people like us, I mean, we play it regularly. We always have the content done before the end of the month. And that's the majority of the hardcore player base that are doing that. So I don't think most people care about it. They just want a game that works. And I think we've got to see that be pushed a little bit further because everything that's happening now is financially driven, and it's actually hurting more than helping.
Yeah. Oh, here is an interesting comment from Adrian Grant. When you talk something down, you help to force a downward spiral. That argument, unfortunately, and I'm not trying to be harsh here, but that type of arguments are intellectual fallacies, because otherwise you are left with propaganda and lies. You see, maybe that is the case. That is the case, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't do that. Because alternative is to lie or to close your eyes, bury your head in the sand, and pretend that everything's perfect. And that's why I am very careful choosing my words. I'm not running around saying, the game is dying, it's about to be dead, everything's bad, Armageddon. But again, I don't think any single one of you can make an argument that the game is headed up in upwards trajectory. The financials doesn't say that. They are significantly down year to year, quarter to quarter basis. The general polling doesn't support that. There have been polls on Twitter, there have been polls on forums, stuff like that, and there is very, very little satisfaction of the game right now as such. And overall, let's say, anecdotal evidence does not support that, because we always hear about a player quitting or some people quitting, stuff like that. But at this rate, it's a significant representative portion of a lot of people who are currently taking a step back or leaving, and that includes content creators, that includes artists, that includes casual players, that includes my moderator team, that includes my friends and my alliance mates and my viewers. And that is much, much, much more than just anecdotal evidence at this point.
Boop.
So
and I think even if you go back,
sorry, one second, I just wanted to touch it.
I was going to say, if you go back and watch our previous even comments about this on any of the other KT times or streams back the past month and a half, I think we've been pretty supportive and pretty commendable about the communication and such. So we're not trying to be negative to spin it down, but we've got to be honest too.
Yeah.
Because if we're not honest,
here is exactly the bottom line, Adrian Grant specifically.
Yeah.
You either can say what you see and talk the truth, or you can have an agenda and narrative, and you can serve your best interest or somebody else's best interest if you have sold your best interest. You can ignore the issue if it's inconvenient, which I don't think people want content creators to do. You can lie to people, which I don't think people want me to do either. Or you can try and be as reflective as you potentially can on the current situations and current problems. It's up to you to choose what kind of information you consume. If you want to be in Kabam, White Knight, Echo Bubble, go on forums. There's going to be plenty of people, whenever you can praise Kabam and that everything's fine, they're going to support you. Right? There are other content creators who are never going to even mention a single thing wrong with the game. Or you can try to think for yourself. where you can try
Yeah.
to get to your own conclusions and consume information from as many sources as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And
It's
yeah,
one of
no, I
those-
agree that consistently pulling problem to light might increase the problem. But at the same time, I also think that that is the best way of showcasing what is currently happening in the game and ultimately getting it fixed.
And the issue is we're not telling people to stop playing. We're
Yeah.
not actively out there telling people to boycott. We're not out there telling people to do anything. All we're talking about is just what we're experiencing and what the community is telling us. And I think that's what we have to do. We have to be honest with people because that's what people want to hear is honesty. And yes, there is some opinions in there, but that's just because if we weren't given our opinion, we'd be a robot and it'd be very boring. And that's what you have to do. We have to be able to give that. But end of the day, hopefully they'll release another hotfix sometime soon. I hope it's not going to be hotfix, then we got to wait for the next update, and then there may be another hotfix because they can't do like only one hotfix and think that's going to be okay. They've got to do like multiple hotfixes, continuing to build upon it between updates. If they're just going to do one, one update.
And yeah.
So,
okay,
yeah.
I think that kind of covers the first point kind of in detail. Ultimately, the bottom line is that we did get a hotfix. The hotfix, unfortunately, did not seem to have been very effective, kind of like Magikarp. And then, other than that, we just need to wait for more information from Kabam. There are some compensations coming. And, well, that is said to be before end of the month, ultimately.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
And yeah, that leads us to our next point.
Correct. We've got really Summer of Pain. Like the funny thing is the thing that I think some people doubted you on a couple weeks ago when we said that we were reading it all wrong. You said, look, this is going to be a 2 week. There's going to be something in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, by
It's not
the
just
way,
going to end
I
on week
completely
9.
forgot Growler. I wanted to say huge thank you because Growler came through with $20, and now we have Nick Major as well. Wanted to help the fun. Thanks for all of your content. Really enjoying the final sub challenge. Only one more mutant path to go for Mysterio. Well, that sounds like a job for APOC if you have one. I think that's probably the better mutant option. Or Archangel can do it as well. Archangel, I'm sure, is capable. But,
yeah.
Here we are. So let me update the random text to 945. It says 945, but I have actually spent majority of it already. But it's fine. We'll get there.
Hey, it happens.
It's so crazy how much that stuff costs that you don't even think about.
Oh yeah, man! Don't even get me started when you move into a new house and buy like just basic grocery condiments. That stuff is expensive when you buy it all at once.
Anyways,
so Summer of Pain. So we got finished with the 9 weeks, and just like you had said, and we had talked about previously, the 2 final weeks show up. The leaked map was correct. The leak rewards were correct, except for it didn't include which was kind of cool. They had, obviously, you get points just like the original Summer of Pain, and they had their own little like milestones, and of course Thronebreaker got more milestones, which was nice. And they weren't as extreme as like the weekly ones. It was just basically just if you want 100% it, you have to do it with 6 paths, and if you want 100% it as Thronebreaker, you have to do it with 6 paths with only using 1 of each class each time, which was very doable. It definitely was a place because of the Grandmaster, I think, especially where people had to use items for the first time in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Well,
there
again,
wasn't,
to be fair, I
haven't heard anyone solo the entire path.
Was significantly inflated by the state of the game.
Oh yeah, now. Definitely, especially when it launched. The Grandmaster was bugged in the links and such, so. There was a lot of people that tried to do it early, yourself included, that probably would have used maybe a third or even a fourth of the items.
Because because that initial Grandmaster fight was an absolute nightmare because it had like basically all the rule sets active.
Yeah.
Because the nodes were like set in reverse.
That was a nightmare.
So basically, you had the hardest version of Grandmaster possible ever, because you had limited damage. He had shorter wounded phase. He had higher attack. You could only have 3 blunders instead of 5 and stuff like that. So it basically put all of those notes. It's kind of like imagine taking, I don't know, a champion boss with every single link active.
It kind of reminded me like if you saw Grandmaster in like a in like a gauntlet type scenario, like all everything they'd have on him, because literally that there's no way to replicate that fight right now because you'd always going to take one of the links
Yeah.
down now.
Well, you're only
But it's
gonna
just
have one active now. That's the thing.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. There's no way to have like all four of them active at once. But it
Mhm.
almost seems like what they do if they made like either um, a second gauntlet, or like that's what the boss would be, or even like if they did like another abyss or something like that. That's how insane it was, and the fact that people did it, I give them praise because I did not. Um, but the fact that people did it, it just shows that it can be done. But it definitely took a lot
Oh,
of
definitely. Especially with
items.
the rest of the gameplay issues, because, like, for instance, my bigger
Yeah,
problem was nothing else but simply randomly getting hit by those level 1s that I'm sure that I dexed.
yeah.
It
There
was
was
quite frustrating experience, I'm not gonna lie. If I wouldn't be live, I would be swearing my... I
yeah.
know.
No, I agree with you there. There was a lot of
But yeah, by the way,
BS.
for the people asking, there is compensation set to come for people that were affected by it at some point next week. I don't know the size or what's exactly going to be there or how they're determining it. I just know that they have said that there will be compensation for people that were affected by this at some point next week.
Yeah, yeah. So, since you were affected, I'm curious. I mean, you'll be able to share it
Yeah,
from
well,
your
I'll
personal
definitely,
experience.
at the very least, I'll bring it up in some streams or maybe do a community post or something just so people know who didn't get it. But I'm
Yeah.
sure it's going to be all over the place anyways. But
But
yeah, so overall, what do you think of the entire event? How was your personal experience? Which were your kind of like MVPs or which champions did you use like real quick, path per path?
the ones I went to quickly were like Magneto was my mutant that I used. I can tell you I used Human Torch also. I also used my Warlock. A lot of these because I had them at 6-star rank 3. I used Doom. I used Cosmic Ghost Rider, and then I used actually used Aegon because I didn't have like Shang-Chi. And I didn't have anyone else like really ranked up as a 6-star. So I used my 5-star Aegon and powered through that path too. So I did them all, and I mean honestly, some of the fights were just easier, like the Venom fight
The Venom
with
path
a
is, in general, I
Adaptoid.
would say, is the easiest path. The only kind of
Yeah,
annoying thing is that it makes the Grandmaster fight with 3 blunders. But again, if it's just the 3 blunder thing, it's not too bad.
it's not as bad. Yeah, it's just it makes it a little bit more, and I probably used more revives I think on that because I did that path. But the path itself was easy, so that's like an easy path to just
Yeah,
get
to
done
get
if
to
you just want to do
Grandmaster.
one path. But yeah, overall, the entire event itself, if you were Thronebreaker or if you were Cavalier on the cusp of Thronebreaker, you probably became Thronebreaker and then you got to do this one as a Thronebreaker, I would say.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, it showed you why you should be at least Thronebreaker right now. And I say at least because we know something's probably coming soon.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because
I genuinely think that with the extra amount that we are getting here
yeah,
as a
yeah,
rewards, right?
right.
That I think 7.3 will have the next progression title.
Yeah, and I bet you they'll have enough to push most people over if they're not able to rank for someone. If you fully 100% explore it, we'll probably be able. If you did all the Summer Pain, all the Gauntlet, all that 100%, then you probably should be able to rank for somebody as long as you have the
Yeah,
other materials needed.
that's what I think as well. Because here's the thing: the people that did everything so far and bought everything
Yeah,
are 3,000. Like I'll show you 1 second.
yeah, it's not very much.
Yeah, the people like me, I effectively, well, actually, because I have extra 12,000 because of winning Alliance for season,
Correct.
or 11,000, something like that. But even if you didn't place anywhere, or if you just got like 2,000 charges, something like that, what Masters gets, then you should be on about 44,000. That will put everybody that grabbed everything over easily, comfortably. Because I'm away
Yeah,
2,850 fragments from
you'll have it
having,
once you get the Summer of Pain week 10 and
and
11
so
rewards
will
easily.
everybody that's in similar boat as I am. Because you see, they don't offer 3 or 10,000 here. They offer very exceedingly large amount. They offer 34,000, which is nearly a full catalyst. That means you would have likely skipped an offer or two and you'd still be probably there. I'll also guess that 7.3 has a relatively meaningful amount. And my
I
kind
would
of
hope
like
so.
hypothesis would be that if you got done with Karina Challenges, Gauntlets, Summer of Pain, 7.2, 7.3, you probably will be able to rank for a champion, even if you didn't buy the offers at that point. Because 7.3 will have some, obviously, as well in the rewards.
Yeah. I think if you did all the Karina challenges and everything, you're going to have one of the first probably 1,000 people to have a rank 4 easily after this next Summer of Pain's over.
And
someone like me that doesn't buy all the offers, I'm probably going to have to wait for 7.3.
Yeah, I wanted to say, like Wade Wilson just asked as well, I'm free to play, I skipped all the offers, when will I get rank 4? I personally think if you will explore, if you have done everything else, as in like if you have done all the Korean challenges, Grandmaster's Gauntlet, 7.2, Summer of Pain, all the objectives, and the solo event, I think then those people will be able to rank for a champion with arrival of 7.3. Or close to.
I'm also going to make a bold prediction, and tell me I'm crazy, KT, but after we get the Summer of Pain week 10 and 11 rewards, I'm thinking Kabam may throw an offer or 3 out there.
Oh, they definitely will put out an offer or one.
Yeah. I just hope it's not Ascendant crystals where it's RNG, because some people were able to get that
crystal,
too.
We're going to talk about rank 4, so we're going to be discussing that, but yeah, that is the offer that decided the player that can have a rank 4 right now, because he was the only one in our alliance who got that offer and got lucky with tier 6 basic. And that was the difference. Because there are several other people that are basically in our alliance, and we won the Alliance War season that kind of put us, ahead other people. But within our alliance, out of 30 people, I don't know, let's say 20 bought some of the Ascendant offers, and only one got tier 6 basic, and that is the person who has rank 4 now.
Yeah. Which, I mean, like I said, we knew that was probably going to be coming anytime, so it's good that it happened, and definitely the leg up was because you guys got #1 War Season, because they added those rewards.
This 34,000 fragments is kind of like a grand equalizer, because that means that a couple of the offers don't matter. That means that the Alliance War Season doesn't matter anymore, because everybody that's even remotely similar situation is going to be able to get it. So after Summer of Pain, it's not only going to be that like ASR can rank up. It's going to be any alliance, even if you didn't do Alliance War, right? As long as you get like majority of the offers and the rest of the content, you're going to be able to have rank 4. There's going to be a load of people with rank 4s after these rewards come in like, 9 days?
Yes.
9 days, 21 hours. No, 9 days, 21 hours, I think. Some offers still matter, but I think you will still have been able to skip a few offers.
Yeah. They're definitely, like, I think I'm still going to be, I'd have to look, but personally, I think I'll still be, like, a little bit short, like,
we'll see.
16,000 or something. But even so, it's going to be 7.3 for sure.
I am also thinking that if you have done, like, all the previous content with Karina challenges and rest of the stuff, even if you're not buying the offers at point of 7.3 exploration, you probably will be able to rank 4. That's what I think.
Yeah. But either way, this was a nice move to get us there a lot quicker. I mean, I really think the first time we saw these materials was back at the end of, the end of April? We didn't even know.
Yeah,
we didn't
it was
see...
super quick. This was such a... It feels like it was a really big rush job. It really does feel like a huge, huge rush job.
I also feel, and correct me if you think it's wrong, but I also feel it was financially driven.
Of course.
But
I think
at the end
this
of the
was
day,
one of those things that somebody had, I believe, that somebody had a critical oversight.
Yeah.
At the time when they delayed 7.1.
Yeah.
I think they had a plan to roll out these slower. Effectively,
Correct.
It would have started, like, let's say with like New Year's or something like that. And I think then obviously everybody kicked the fuss and they had to roll it back, because the beta, everybody went mad of 7.1 and they were reworking all of that. And all of these things kind of got put in back burner. And I think that they kind of woke up before spring cleaning, realizing that they want to add the next progression level before before this year's Cyber Weekend.
Yeah.
And that's why I think now we see such a quick, massive introduction of these.
I also think that's why in 7.1 we didn't see any of those resources in there. They should have put them in there also.
Yeah, and that's why 7.2 has like minimal amount of them, because I think it was kind of like just somebody would, because I generally think it was an oversight in the company, and then they are basically playing catch up with these resources, because no other resource ever had been introduced in this kind of manic manner.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, it's only like 5 months or something like that, or 4 months. It's a very quick time frame.
From basically not having any of the resources to all of a sudden being able to create it. Yeah. That's one financial quarter, basically. You know, it's kind of crazy. But the other thing I'll say is
that Summer of Pain was quite fun, though.
Summer of Pain was not easy. I mean, if you worked for those rewards for sure.
I mean, Summer of Pain, I think my personal interest for the event kind of dipped down in the middle. I think the Venom, Adaptoid, and Dark Rock fights are kind of meh.
They were meh, yeah. But you kind of balanced it.
And I think the last 3 fights were better, more fun, more interesting. And I think overall, I'd still class that went as, a success. The biggest shame is all the bugs right now. And, the gameplay shit.
If I had to go back and do it again, I would have put some of these fights like earlier and some of them later. Like the Rogue and Mysterio fight were hard, and I think that turned a lot of people off at the beginning that maybe weren't quite ready for this. But then like some of the other fights were just like nothing. Like you could have done it with quite a few different counters. It wasn't even like you had to have like the maxed out 6-star. You could have done it with a 5-star rank 4.
Even like Emma, it was a hard fight, and I hate Oscillate on, but it could be done with practically like any champion.
Yeah, especially like how quickly you can get champions and awakening gems for 5 stars and all that now. So anyway, it was overall I'd give the event like a 8 out of 10 overall. Yeah, the rewards definitely 10 out of 10.
Oh yeah, rewards are very good, to a point where a lot of people were kind of like upset, worried, or whatever, that they're too generous. Something like that.
Yeah. Well, and that was especially because they said about those generic. Or not just generic, but overall signature stones that they weren't going to be giving many out, and then all of a sudden we have 150.
Oh yeah, when Karina Challenge had a whole bunch, and these ones, and Grandmaster's Gone. I think we have gotten like 300-400 generic 6 stones in content in like again.
You almost had enough to
crazy. I don't know what I'm going to do with mine now, because I have sigged up all the champions that I wanted to sig up, and I have some 6 stones expiring in 10 days, and obviously I'm getting 75 more. So I'm going to figure out whether Aegon is going to get them, whether King Groot is going to get them, or whoever else.
I wish I had Aegon Awakened, because that's my situation too. But I've got some people I can put them into. I just hate throwing generics in just because they're in overflow and they're going to expire,
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing, like in MCOC, it's like, why? Like, if 5 and 6-star champions require 200 signature levels, why can we only store 100 or 125 signature stones? Makes no sense.
I really think it should be 150, and that's 150 with a sigil, which 125 is with the sigil. I think it's 100 normally if you don't have the sigil, I think. But anyway, it should be like 200 with the sigil and like maybe 150 to 175 if you don't have the sigil. That's my honest opinion, but they haven't changed that. I don't know.
But okay, so overall, Summer of Pain, I think it was a good event. Again, I think the only kind of like thing that really overshadows Summer of Pain is the current game issues, but and that's why I don't think it was necessarily the best time to have this event. But all in all, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I had fun throughout it. The bugs were frustrating, especially Day 1 Grandmaster. I should not have rushed through it as I did, but I'm a bit of glutton for punishment. Feeling absolutely horrible that day, but it's done. We'll see if I have something within 24 hours. Going back in there and having some fun or having some more streams for, let's say, streaming or educational purposes. Well, the thing is, right now I can't really afford to kind of like spend any money on resources and stuff like that. But if that compensation has like reasonable amount of revives and stuff like that, I'll probably try and redo it with like minimal set of resources or something. Just using different champions. But I might be going back in there for a couple of streams just to have a bit of fun till it is around, because it's fun, it's interesting fights, and make a good time. Right, okay, so we need to kind of chop it along, because this is probably going to be a bit longer version of KT time. But
actually, the rest ones are pretty quick. I think.
True.
But
Let's talk about the best buff in history of buffs.
Ooh, the best buff ever, the Gamora's buff number 2.
Yeah. Oh, wait 1 second. Before we get to that buff, we need to check out the announcement about the cadence changes to the updates, because that obviously is also very relevant, because that was announcement, and then we got the Gamora buff. So, concerns for rating, champion update cadence change. So I'm not going to read everything word by word, but I'm going to point out a couple of very specific lines. First, basically change our champions release game to from 2 to 5 per month. The work required to test and balance of the champions is no less than a break. That is a lie. That statement is a lie. That is 100% a lie. But okay.
Yeah, I disagree.
And with 5 being released per month, we were expecting some less than perfect updates. Champion updates released with bugs, and while bugs will happen, we and our players were not happy with the release, of course. And lastly, most importantly here, we have heard it from our players and feel it ourselves. Some of the updates are not up to the level that summoners had hoped. While not every champion is meant to suddenly skyrocket to the top of the DPS charts or replace every champion in your roster, we feel that players are not happy with some of the updates they have received lately. Keep in mind, this is the announcement, and then they post this. And then they post this. How do you like it?
I think it's stupid. It's because we know what it already is for next month, and it just makes it even worse. I felt like we got screwed out of one this month because they did Hood again. That's how I felt first. And then secondly, they're doing Gamora, which has already had a slight up buff in patch notes the same time that She-Hulk and Spider-Gwen were buffed. And her buff is like, it doesn't look like it's going to make her, it's not going to move her into anyone else's roster or make anyone else happy, really. It does look like her Awaken ability is going to be very much needed and a high sig in order to basically cut down the time.
Anyway,
here's
the thing that I'm going to say. The thing that really pisses me off, the thing that really pissed me off with this thing, in combination with this statement, champion is not meant to suddenly skyrocket in the top of the DPS chart to replace every champion. If they're conscious that it's not meant to have like insane change in damage, but they only change abilities that are basically resulting in damage.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And here's the thing, my personal problem right here with that buff is, every single change that they have done to the champion is inconsequential and will change absolutely nothing. And I can make Gamora 10 times better champion with simply copy-pasting Wasp's heavy attack ability of passive stun. I could include literally, 7-word sentence. Copy-paste one sentence from Wasp, give it to Gamora, let her be able to chain heavy attacks just like Wasp, just like America Chavez. She's immediately much more viable champion. She wouldn't be great, she would be playable. Like, you know what I mean? If you want to make her playable as a niche use, take this Nebula synergy. Robot opponents suffer 10% ability accuracy and 2% attack rating for each personal buff on Gamora. Double it, let's say 20% and 4%. Or just keep the ability accuracy thing, yeah? And add that.
Yeah.
That's it. Gamora is a niche robot counter.
Yeah.
But that's actually playable in majority of the scenarios. That's it. That's how easy it would be. Never mind fucking with the effectiveness and the durations and all of that stuff. None of that shit matters. Because damage was never Gamora's problem. Gamora's problem is the fact that she just literally cannot be used properly in vast majority of the fights. Giving her passive stun solves most of those fights out. Gives her a reason, purpose, or whatever.
She's, they tried to also spin it as though she's a counter for like True Strike. Like she can help with True Strike by having True Strike, no evades and stuff like that. But you got to get to the special 3 to have that.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Or you got to have 10 buffs too. But the thing about the 10 buffs is,
as much as Spider-Man 2099 is a slow champion.
Yeah.
As in, like, nobody's ever going to use them for that.
It was one of those scenarios. I talked about this with someone else, but basically, most of the time, no one ever like the fact they throw these on the special 3s. It doesn't make sense. It should have been in a special 2 because no one wants to go to special 3.
And nobody can,
what it is,
and nobody will. Special 3 can have some sort of mega damage mode, and I don't like that already. And in general, no abilities on Special 3 really matter unless there is a very clear way of getting there. Like with Doctor Doom and stuff like that, you know, you gain a whole chunk of power quickly and crap. Then, fair enough, it's still annoying that you need to sit through the animation, but if you can get there more effectively, fair enough, I can tolerate those abilities. But for even champions like Mysterio, you know, like, Mysterio, like, his damage is behind level 3, and that is one of the reasons why he's not as used champion, because you have to get level 3 to get that big amount of damage. But in case of Gamora, honestly, she doesn't have to be perfect, and it's just as they said. Not every champion is meant to replace every champion in your blah blah blah. Not gonna skyrocket. Just give her passive stun on heavy attack, and that buff would have been 10 times better received. It would make sense. It would go with her ability kit, and that would actually let her work.
And you know what? One other thing, when fighting robots, add a shock to it.
Yeah, sure. Whichever of those cases. Everything else is optional, extra, just like whatever they did. You know, you can add a ton of things.
Yeah.
And we can carry on and add more and more and more, but that wouldn't even be necessary. What I'm trying to say here is every single thing that I changed about Gamora would be overshadowed, outclassed, and unnecessary in presence of the passive stun on heavy attack. And, that one tiny thing would make so much more sense.
I think we're going to have to see it in action. On paper, it's very disappointing, and it just seems unneeded. It seems like it took up a slot that should have been somebody else.
Yeah, and it seems that it's absolutely pointless. It seems like it doesn't address any of the issues Gamora currently has.
Yeah, this is...
It's kind of same with Nova. Nova got like a buff, you know, but he got longer fury and slightly more damage, when damage was never the reason why he is not being used.
No. I think that's where it's getting lost. I think a lot of YouTubers, especially, always focus on the damage and not so much the utility or the other uses that can be used in certain scenarios. The damage is so much focus, and because of that, that's all these designers and devs are doing.
Focusing on damage, you know.
But that's what I'm saying. I think it's kind of reactionary to those YouTubers always focusing on it too. Not all of them.
Genuinely, like, here's the thing. I cannot imagine a person that is good at their job and is proud of what they have done here. Cannot imagine a person that works on buffs and cannot comprehend the basic problem with Gamora, which I have done nothing to address.
I mean, it's not only that,
it almost
but I mean,
seems as if like one or two people who do these buffs have never played this game.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
Sorry. Yeah, carry on.
Well, I'll just say, like, okay, Big Tuna had mentioned if they had the stun on heavy, it'd make her buffs almost last indefinitely. We're saying not to add that to it, not to have it where all of her buffs refresh. Keep her as she is now and just add that to it. Add just the stun.
And again, what is the problem with her buffs lasting indefinitely? It's just damage.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like Guillotine 2099. If you don't get hit, your damage increase lasts indefinitely. What's the big problem with that? It's not like she has persistent charge that lets her start the next fight with the 50 buffs active and stuff like that. That's the whole point of ramp up champions, that you can ramp them up almost indefinitely.
Well, I mean,
or at least or put a cap on cruelties or whatever, like, you know.
Yeah.
But it still wouldn't change the fact that it just would make her usable.
Right, and the passive stun on heavies have only been done with 2 champions so far, Wasp, and then if you're shocked with Doom. That's the only 2 it's ever been done on. So it's already crossed over other classes, so it should be no problem. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Yeah. I forgot that champion existed. I'm sorry. Yeah, that one too. But this is 50% of our buffs, and then we finally get. I think we've kind of talked about Gamora enough, but we finally get Miles' buff.
And what do you think about Miles' buff?
I don't know. He's got a lot of different things now. I'm looking forward to seeing his animations.
I don't think he does.
No, he's got a lot that they've changed.
Oh, yeah,
I don't think it's a lot.
I just don't see much on it. I'm kind of
worried. That's the problem.
I hope it's good, but I am a bit worried.
I want to see the animations because that's what I'm really excited about, because he won't be like. But the shotgun special 2 is pretty cool. I mean, I thought that's kind of neat. I I like the taunt because I agree with you. I think it's very. You said it earlier. The taunt is very underrated. I think when you're doing your Starkey overview video.
Yeah, taunt is such a
I
good ability. It really is.
Yeah, I think that's kind of cool that he's getting the taunt ability. I think I like that he doesn't evade if you do like a parry. Like he won't
It
do
used
like
to be a
OG
synergy, and that
Spider-Man.
was so funny because all the newer spiders had it in their base kit, but Miles had a synergy where he doesn't evade if you parry.
Yeah, that's so stupid. Anyway, but I don't know about the having to do missions and stuff. Just like it seems like that's their answer.
Like when I read his ability description, it legitimately reminded me of mini shit Hercules.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought of too. I was like, oh my god, is he supposed to be like a mini Hercules now because you got to do these things? And I'm not the biggest fan of those. I mean, I understand they work for some people, but yeah, it's just kind of silly in my opinion, especially for him of all people. It's like it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because so they're basically saying because he's not really a hero, he's too young of a hero. That's so just demeaning, I think, to him too.
Well, again, but the missions themselves, okay, so it's 5 parries, right?
They're easy.
Keep in mind that there are fights where you cannot parry.
Yeah, well, you can. You can parry. It just won't stun.
No, but in general, there are champions you just don't want to parry against.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Or nodes
you don't mean like
fights in general like that. How many nodes we have that increase like block damage and crap like that?
Yeah, you don't want to block like that. So that could take that one off the table completely. Yeah. Intercepting
will
give the hits.
and land 50 attacks. Okay, this one's fine. This one's fine because you can just play it slow and like land 10 combos, which is a lot, or get some intercepts. I think that one's objectively fine because it ultimately can be either intercept or just hit the opponent, and eventually it all works.
Yeah, and the
10
last attacks
one
with
is
evade,
miss, or dex, and fine, I guess.
You know what that reminds me of? That literally reminds me of Stark at Hand Spider-Man.
Yeah, pretty much. That's all.
I mean, it's literally like poise charges. You're telling me, yeah.
But here's the thing: all of them, I don't think amount up to all that much. You see, he fulfills his missions.
Yay.
Okay. So Spider Challenge: to learn to be a hero. Miles Morales, his list of Spider Challenge is complete fight. Grants indefinite Spider Sense charge, max charge 3. Each Spider Sense charge grants passive 7% chance to evade, big whatever offensively, and 252 attack rating. That's pathetic. It would be like 2,000 attack rating. Then we'd be talking.
Yeah, I mean, well, granted, not everything has to be numbers. If everything else is great, like the attack, but if they're making this about attack rating, that's nothing.
Yeah.
Ugh, that's just pitiful.
And again, okay, so he completes the missions, which again are not all that important offensively, like because you only get like 200 attack here, and what makes them important is the signature ability, because every time you complete one, you gain 2,000 something fury, so that would put you like 3,000 fury. So that is going to be how you get your damage, but that also means that you need to complete them quickly, right?
Yeah. And isn't the signature ability you also can do unlimited of those? There's not capped at 3, like 1 per fight or something? Or was that a synergy? I can't remember what it is.
That is the signature ability, yeah. When you can keep doing them, but you don't get any other bonuses except the signature abilities, Fury, basically.
Yeah.
But again, in order to get that damage, you need to consistently be fulfilling these missions. That Fury is 12 seconds. It's not that long. It really isn't.
Yeah, but it doesn't say you have to. It doesn't say you have to do, unless. Well, wait. Maybe
it can
I'm
be
reading
any
wrong.
of the missions.
Okay, so could you do multiple of the same mission there? That's the one thing I was wondering.
Oh yeah, that'd be interesting to see whether you can stack them up. No,
that's what I was wondering because if the SIG allows, because it says.
Yeah, we'll see.
Know.
But in general, okay, so heavy attack has stun. Sorry, heavy attack has the taunt. That's cool.
Yeah,
and you can inflict rapture, so access to rapture can be kind of neat. But overall, I just don't see too much substance because for
as long as this buff took and it was teased, it's almost as disappointing as Black Panther's was.
Well, again, I don't want right now because it might still come off really good.
Yeah.
There might, if the numbers are in place and if he's a hard-hitting spider that's, let's say, fairly convenient to use, he will have fans and he might be used for something. Like, I am quite hopeful of the buff. I still haven't abandoned my hope.
I need to see
maybe partially because I have 660 6-star miles. Yeah, I mean
that may be why.
But if everything else together, he might be okay. Because we have this shot gains 30% potency for each unique debuff that has been activated on the opponent. And basically you can maybe inflict a decent shock on level 2.
Well, I was going to say, it's for every debuff that's been on the opponent, right?
Mm.
That's what it says specifically. This shot, okay, for each. So if you put like Mr. Fantastic pre-fight on there, that could be kind of
but it also says personal, so I'm not sure if that's gonna
okay. I didn't see the personal part. Yeah. Well, I mean, the only thing is, personal. I guess when I read that personal, I was thinking like, did he put on not the node? That's what I was thinking. I don't know.
So,
we have to
I don't know. In general, I would be lying if I'd say that I'm like really excited or super hopeful stuff like that. But I just I don't know. I guess on face of how bad Gamora's buff is, I don't want to give up hope on this one. I'm like, come on, give us at least one barely playable champion.
And I know we're not really talking about it, but we've got the leaked who it could be next month, the new champions.
Well,
I mean,
it's Nimrod and
and Kitty Pryde.
Kitty Pryde. So those are quite exciting. I'm not gonna lie. Finally, we get some real mainstay Marvel actual characters, not hipster Uncle Hulk or whatever.
Yeah, I'm hoping Kitty ends up being pretty good. I'm really interested in another Sentinel.
Well, the irony with Kitty is that everybody expects Kitty to be able to. The irony is that everybody expects Kitty to be able to phase, right?
Yeah.
But the entire thing is that True Focus is like the default opera meme right now in Kabam office. Like you get True Focus, you get a True Focus, you get a True Focus. So it's gonna be interesting how to see how that plays out right now.
Actually, I know how it's gonna play out, KT. To get more people to buy it and to make it more of a pain in the butt for us, they're gonna do the same thing.
True Focus.
She's gonna bypass True Focus because of the same thing that they changed the rules for Penny, so they're gonna change it for her too.
Yeah, probably. Like she's gonna bypass True Focus, and I have a feeling, I genuinely have a feeling that either Nimrod or a champion next month. Yeah,
I think the champion
will have undermine on their kit. I generally have a feeling that either Nimrod or the champion next month will have undermine.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Undermine. For those of you who do not know, undermine is that effect that Super Scroll has, where you go unblockable when opponent auto blocks. So you technically, don't stop the auto block, which is entire thing about Penny, that nothing stops her auto blocking, but you're unblockable, so you just smash her through it. So I can promise you undermine is coming in like several champions.
Yeah, I can see that be their new hotness now. So but yeah, so that was the buffs, and then we've kind of hinted about this too, 'cause I think we're done with the buffs pretty much.
Yes, we are.
The rank 4s are here. You personally have someone that that has rank 4s. You're on the cusp of your rank 4.
Mm-hmm.
There are others in the wild too that we know of.
Well, there's one person right now. In 9 days, in 10 days, we are gonna have a huge amount of rank 4s.
Yeah.
In the top lines.
But
right now there's one.
The higher arenas where 6 stars are is going to be changing now.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure. But also, not just with that, but we also found out what it's going to take to be rank 5. And oh my god, the resources. What happened?
It's on the screen right now.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, it wasn't updated on mine yet, but yeah, what it's going to come to be rank 5. Oh my lord. Where are we getting these damn things? Tier 6 catalysts? You need
Tier
3 of them?
Catalysts. 3 of them.
Jesus. I mean, if these numbers end up staying the same, which I assume they will, that's a lot of materials.
Yep.
That's a lot. Hey, you know what I'm glad not to see in here?
Which is kind of funny because we're going to need the same amount of Tier 5 and Tier 6 class catalysts.
Yeah. But you know what I'm glad I'm not seeing in here anymore? I'm not seeing Tier 4 CC and Tier 5 basic.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god. I don't think we'll see a rank 5 anytime super soon.
Oh yeah, definitely not. That's definitely not coming soon. I think the next thing that we're going to be kind of like focusing on is going to be the gears and shit like that.
Yeah, I think we're a year and a half maybe.
I mean, realistically, the top tier players have 30 to 60 rank 3 6 stars right now.
Yeah.
And I think that we're going to start seeing rank 5 6 stars when the similar situation happens, where top people have like 30, 40, 50,
yeah,
whatever, rank 4 6 stars. Then we're going to start seeing the materials for next time.
Yeah, that's very accurate. So that seems, I'd say it's at least a minimum a year and a half if they expedite it like they did rank 4s, which I don't think they will.
Yeah, look at that big fat
year and a
prestige
half.
though, 14,227.
Yeah, that's insane, man. It's insane. It's going to be a time when once people start getting multiple rank 4s, like even if they get 5 rank 4s now, people are going to be close to like probably getting close to like 18K prestige. Maybe, I don't know if you'd rank 20 until after the rank 5s come out, but yeah, I think I could see people going like 18 maybe with top
18K?
champions and with new
No.
ones coming. You don't think so?
No. Dr. Doom is the second highest prestige champion at rank 4. He's at 15,918. That means we're going to see about 15,000 prestige.
I think, right, I understand. Yeah, I see what you're saying there.
15.7 max, I think.
But my thought is, I think Kabam, now that they've got the rank 4s out there, I think we're going to start seeing some higher prestige champions.
Oh, no, we're not going to see that.
You don't think so?
No.
It's a way, because think about it. Everybody's getting all these SIG stones. They're going to use them right away, and then what are they going to do in the next 6 months?
Okay, Mandor.
Oh, here's the new Prestige Kings.
If they bring out 4 prestige champions in the space of half a year, they're going to lose a very large portion of their top tier player base.
No, they
making a very big, very high prestige champion, like top prestige champion, is like a very big statement.
Yeah.
And we had Silver Surfer and Dr. Doom, which already caused like a very significant discussion of like, Dr. Doom and now Silver Surfer like on top of it kind of thing.
Yeah, it was like right back to back.
Yeah, back to back. But that was already like, that was at end of 2019. Means how we have went over a year before that champion like being crowned. And before that it was Thor Ragnarok. And Thor Ragnarok was the highest prestige champion again for a year and a half or so.
Yeah, about a year and a half.
So I do think that we might see 1 or 2 that are as high, maybe slightly higher, over the course of 2021 and 2022. I don't think we're going to see more than 2, 3 higher prestige champions over the next 18 months or so.
Yeah, I can see that. But it's interesting. It's an interesting time to be seeing all these, and just seeing the health pool and the damage of a unboosted, rank 4 Dr. Doom.
Well, the thing is that's another very interesting point of discussion, because it is actually, like, I mean, obviously it's higher because it's a rank up, but Kabam is like lower. Again being very mischievous and kind of trippy when it comes to that. Like Cam posted the champion kind of attack increases per the respective ranks, and I realize now that people can't really see it properly. One second, let me try and move it a bit. Here we go.
Sure.
Should be fine now. So you see that, one sec, I'll remove the font name here.
Yeah, just so people
when it comes to, let's say, 4 stars. 4 stars are overall the most stable group of champions. And we can see that 4-star increase from rank 1 to 2 is exactly 40%, then it goes to about 32%, 33%, and then it goes up to 34%, yeah? But basically, all that percentage increase from rank per rank, that's like attack, health, prestige, all that stuff. For 4-star champions was basically 30 to 40%. For 5-star champions, we see a bit more interesting slope, that from rank 1 to 2, we see the basically top increase ever nearing 60%. And then from rank 2 to 3, we see, from rank 3 to 4, we see 30-something% increase. And then again, 30-something% increase from rank 4 to 5. Yeah, so they got a huge jump at 2 to 3 rank, and then very stable jump from 3 to 4. When you see with 6 stars, they start off with a huge jump. And this yellow, the green line is the 6 stars. They start with a relatively big jump. That's kind of like in line of all the other champions, more or less.
Right.
They start with that jump just under 40%. And then from rank 2 to 3, they go down to 16%. And then they go down to 14%. And that is the smallest increase we can see by far. The next lowest increase was the 6-star rank 2 to 3. And then the next lowest one, I believe, is the 5-star 1 to 2. But other than that, comparatively, when you check out the champions, you see that 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, all of them are 30 to 40 percentile at the same rank levels, except the 6 stars.
Right.
And here we can see that again, rank 2 to 3, all of them are 40 till 60 percentile, and 6 stars are 12.
Now,
what does that
count
to?
Something?
What that accounts to that taking a champion, a 6-star, from rank 2 to rank 4 gives you 30% total increase.
Right. Remember, okay, so this is what I wanted to...
Keep in mind.
I noticed something about this graph the other day, and I wanted to bring it to your attention. Okay, so the blue line is 5 stars, and that first 1 to 2 of the 5-star is based off of the high... I think I'm admitted
there is a slight mistake in one of these charts, but it basically doesn't change much in terms of what you're talking about.
Okay. But basically, the 1 to 2, how it doesn't make up that big of a difference in the 5-star, but it's kind of the same where it went from 3 to 4 for 6 stars. I think I have a reasoning for that. And I don't think you're going to like the answer. If you look, they're about the same. And the reason being is because this is the equivalent of a rank 1 6-star plus, and I'm saying the plus because the plus means the relics that are coming out that are going to increase it more.
That very well might be the case. It really could be because of relics. Because otherwise, again, what I'm saying is taking a 6-star champion from rank 2 to 4, not just to 3, to 4, gives you a total of 30% increase. Taking a 5-star champion from rank 2 to 3 gives you 60% increase. Yeah? That's all right.
Yeah.
You get the difference? So, other champions being ranked up once can get up to double the effect, or as much of a total. But pretty much every single champion class at any given rank, almost guaranteed, gets more significant increase going 1 rank than 6 stars do going 2 ranks.
Yeah. And that's what's kind of crazy. I think, like, obviously the main reason right now is for prestige, for rank 4s, but I think the reason why you can sell that 1 to 2 line is almost the same percentage as the 3 to 4 for 6 stars. The 1 to 2 for 5 stars is the same, like, kind of percentage as the 3 to 4 for 6 stars, is because I think the relics is what's going to push it up to those other levels if you pair certain relics with certain champs and such.
I think it is either going to be relics, or I think that is purposely slowing down the game progression level. So to a degree, 5 stars are still like let's make one thing perfectly clear. Rank 4 arrival for regular individual solo non-competitive content. As in, like, I'm not talking Legends runs, I'm not talking if we're gonna have 1 versus 1 PvP, I'm not talking any of that stuff. I'm talking about clearing variants, clearing Act 7, using for whatever else. 5 stars are still gonna be viable. It is quite literally rank 5 5-star will be pretty much rank 4 6-star or rank 3 6-star plus with a 30% boost. And if you max boost to 5-star, that's basically gonna be rank 4 6-star, right? Obviously, when it comes to clearing content, that's perfectly acceptable, because if somebody uses a rank 4 6-star, he doesn't have to boost, and you use a rank 5 5-star boost to the max, and you effectively can achieve the same. And in that sense, that's obviously very good. That is not gonna work the same whenever there is other players involved, like Alliance War or whatever else, because you're gonna max boost your 5-star, they're gonna max boost their 6-star rank 4, and you're still gonna get shafted. Similar for Legends and stuff like that. But for like individual content, 5 stars are still capable of dealing everything that has been released up to this point. Like, you can do Abyss with 5 stars. Obviously, it's gonna be easier with rank 4 6 stars or whatever, but you can use 5 stars for that. You can do use 5 stars in Act 6 and Act 7 easy. You don't need 6-star rank 3 rank 4 for that and stuff like that. That is the upside for a lot of people with more limited rosters. Again,
and I think that's kind of a good thing, because it makes it more accessible to new people, but also people that don't spend a lot, don't have a lot of 6 stars ranked.
You're going to be able to conquer more content with that. But it obviously still will take you out of the picture completely in, again, competitive modes against the players. Like, because there is no way around it. If you're competing, if there is this 1 versus 1 competitive mode, whatever, and the guy has a whole bunch of rank 4 6 stars, and you don't, you know, he's likely going to whoop your ass. It's not guaranteed, but he's going to have a significant advantage.
Yeah,
and saves in alliance war and stuff like that. But the ultimate impact still is kind of prestige.
Yeah, it's just prestige right now. So, but I mean, it's here. We've seen it. It wasn't as impressive as we thought. It's really just the prestige game and the notoriety that hey, you got a rank 4. Congrats.
It is that bump of 14% is.
It's not as much as we expected.
It's not as much as anyone would hope for, considering how much effort you have had to put in to actually get them. It just feels.
Well.
Ultimately, this is one of those things that we're gonna have to judge a year or 2 or 3 from now, if we're still playing this game and if it's still around, whether it was a right, good, or a bad move. It's kind of like 12.0. Like, a lot of shit went down through 12.0, and a lot of people were very upset. Several of those reasons were perfectly valid, but in general, the changes at 12.0 is the only reason the game is currently live today. You might not have liked them when they happened, but if you're still playing this game since then you are a beneficiary of those changes, and there's nothing you can say or do to change that fact.
Definitely.
So we're gonna have to see how this plays out. I don't want to kind of like go into all of the most negative conspiracy theory gates. Ultimately, there is somebody with a plan who is doing something. We're gonna see whether it works out for them or not.
Definitely. They're hedging their bets, so let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with us. So, but last thing we have is really just relating to what's going to happen tomorrow.
Well, it's actually a bit more. It's not just that one thing.
Well, not that. Not just that, but it's something that's going to start tomorrow.
Yeah. So tomorrow is 23rd, and last of this month's antics, events, and prizes and rewards are in fact starting tomorrow. The most important thing that a lot of people have been waiting for a very, very, very long time, obviously, is a golden biology boost. So if you are able to, unfortunately for me, it falls in like quite inopportune time, and I will not be able to grind arena as much as I would have liked to. Otherwise, it would be perfect time to go for like Penny Parker or something, you know? But I won't be able to do that, unfortunately. But starting tomorrow, we're going to get 20% increase in golden all biologies. But for instance, what a lot of people have forgotten is that we're getting a special calendar, Legends celebrations. Kind of ironic considering there's no more Legends, but okay.
Yeah, but it does start at.
But yeah, so you're basically gonna get a tier 4 basic, ultimate, 4-star crystal, legendary crystal, 5-star crystal, half tier 12 for 4,500 tier 5 basic. I mean, it's nothing too crazy, but you know, it's a neat little bonus.
Hey, it's free just for logging in. Just
and then we're gonna get these crystals. Realistically, I think majority of the people will collect about 20 of these. You can get 3. Yeah. Well, you can get 1 every 7 hours. So realistically, it's like 3 something a day. Depending your sleep schedule. I think most of the people will end up with about 20 of these. And you have 4-star hero crystal. So yeah, carry on.
No, I was saying that sounds about right. Yeah, if you get about 3 every day and you do it for that amount of time, you'll probably
it's gonna be about
20.
I think it's going to be about 20-ish. 20.
Yeah. I mean, maybe someone will be able to get a little bit like one more.
You can probably get like 23 or 24 something like that if you're kind of like very precise.
But end of the day, it's free crystals. These are very good. They're normally much better than the normal login. It's like a beefed up version of the 4-hour crystal, basically.
Yeah, you can get tier 4 basic or class catalyst fragments, tier 1 alpha, energy refills, boosts, potions, revives, 5-star hero shards, 4-star hero shards, legendary crystal shards.
Which are
units
new,
as well,
right?
I think,
Is that
are
the new
in there.
ones?
Yeah, I'm quite sure units are in there. Yeah, so you know, it's a neat little crystal, and collect them. I will personally not go out of my way. I have heard people talking something about setting alarms and stuff like that, and it's like, oh Jesus Christ, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm not gonna do that.
But
this game is fun.
It's a nice little bonus thing, anyhow.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you're gonna be playing the game, just click a button. Don't forget. Remind your lounge mates. Help each other out. If you guys remind each other, it'll help out. Trust me.
Yeah, it's like I don't think anyone here sets an alarm for the daily crystal, and daily crystal is bigger and better. So, yeah, don't do that. It's nice, it's neat, but it's not like it's gonna give you featured 6-star crystals for free.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a nice bonus, but not nothing that's needed. So just get some sleep, spend time with the loved ones, do your job. Don't
and
get
last
fired.
thing though, as well, by the way, last thing.
Yes.
Is the trading store. We don't know exactly what's gonna be in the trading store, but we have 2 examples that you're gonna be able to trade in 5 gold crystals for uncollected gold crystal, which you should do. Because 5 gold crystals amount for, once again, 5 times 2.4, that'll be 12,000 gold as a minimum trade, and uncollected ones are 15,000. So they basically kind of would give you an extra gold crystal for every trading that you do, more or less. So yeah, trade your gold crystals in.
I want to remind everybody during this event too. I know you guys try to save your glory. We had a lot of extra glory. A lot of people are sitting at max glory. Buy those gold crystals in there during this time because they refresh every 2 days, I believe, if you buy them. And
I don't know if
you can trade them in and get more gold.
It kind of depends how desperate you are. I personally find glory
that's what I'm
far
saying.
more
It's just
valuable.
if you have extra. If you have extra and need gold, that's an easy way to do it. If you're close to topping up and you're nothing else you want to buy, you can buy those gold crystals every 2 days in the glory store if you fully buy all of them out.
I suppose I'd still rather recommend actually getting stuff that you can't get easy elsewhere.
I have too much overflow. I have too much overflow.
Well, again, you can still buy the tier 4 basics, tier 2 alphas, tier 5 basics.
I have even those in overflow now. It's insane.
Alliance potions or whatever else. There's always ways to spend
do what's best for your account. That's what I'm just saying.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's going to be a trade in store. We'll see how that works out. Maybe there's something interesting. This trade, for most people, for Thronebreaker players, I'd say is awful. If you're a Thronebreaker already, do not do this. Do not do this. If you're a Thronebreaker, it's a horrible deal.
But not only that, the 4 class crystals, those you need tier 4 class catalysts a lot when you're ranking up 6 stars. And those are hard to get.
I have been pretty much out of tier 4s. Now, I have never been out, but I have no real stash, so to speak of.
Yeah. I don't think anybody that ranks up like you do, or most people in that same kind of boat that are ranking 6 stars, are ever at max and overflow anymore at tier 4 CC.
Yeah. It's like I can get from 30 to 50 tier 4 CC crystals before I have to open them so I could do my rank ups. And at this point, I already often decide my rank was based on tier 4 CC more than on tier 5 basic or tier 2 alpha and stuff like that.
Correct, yeah. Yeah, so lots of fun stuff starting tomorrow. Obviously, got a lot of busy stuff. It's been a little longer today than normal, but KTea and I really appreciate you being here for that. Yeah. Anything else you wanted to bring up?
No, I think we are just about done. Again, wanted to remind people that my upload schedule and everything else is going to be a bit more sporadic. I know, in any other week, I would have been live streaming the Scarlet Witch nameless thing, which I'm probably going to try and do a stream for maybe tomorrow. Just get it done. If I manage to do that, because at the point that Scarlet Witch went live, A, I had completely forgotten that that fight will, and B, I was literally covered in paint and not even think about MCOC. There are a ton of things happening for me in my life right now, so it's gonna take about a month, maybe a bit more to get it all sorted. So just stay tuned, and I'll do my best to remain as active as I can here, because obviously I have to. I'm not gonna lie, this is the first time ever in my life where I wish I could just randomly take 2-week vacation from doing this, but I can't. So we're gonna do our best to accommodate everything. It's gonna be a lot of Red Bull, coffees. I have abandoned my 1 cup of coffee a day rule, and I'm gonna get it all done or die trying. Right. That being said,
I wish you the best.
That being said, we should be back next week as well with KT time. If you enjoyed this one, then definitely stay tuned and notified for the next one. And I think that's it for us. Let's say a huge thank you to Mando for being a part of this. And
Thanks for
I
letting me be
shall
here.
see you guys
Appreciate
tomorrow
you.
morning.
Later.
Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the Hello there guys and welcome